Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to TalkEd Early Childhood Series with me, your host, Bianca Gonzalez. And alam natin, syempre, na the struggle is real talaga sa pagpapalaki ng ating mga anak. Kaya naman, we are here for you. At sama-sama tayong matututo as we go along each episode. We are super excited to share with you the different tips and tricks mula sa ating roster of early childhood experts. Syempre, yan ang pinaka-importante dito sa TalkEd. Talagang expert ang ating mga gine-guest and all the information that we share. Syempre, base yan sa mga studies, base yan sa experience. So, mapagkakatiwalaan nyo talaga. But before we start, may mga routines ba kayo with your kids? Yan ang ating pag-uusapan ngayong araw. Tapos, ano yung ginagawa nyo kapag hindi nasusunod yung routine na yon? Ano ba yung mga house rules nyo as a family? May household chores na ba ang inyong mga anak? Gaano kaaga natin dapat turuan ng gawaing bahay ang ating mga anak? Mukhang napakagandang way na magturo ng responsibilities, 'di ba, ng chores sa ating mga anak, ang pets. Pero kayo, kumusta ba ang rules ninyo sa inyong bahay? Pag-uusapan natin ang lahat ng 'yan. Dire-diretso tayo dahil ipapakilala ko na ang ating TalkEd expert for today. She's a family life and child development specialist with over 20 years of experience as an early childhood teacher. She is currently a professor at Wesleyan University and Mission Ministries, Philippines. Siya din ang director ng programs Homeschool Global Roses at advisor sa homeschooling families. Let us all welcome Teacher Elizabeth King Santos. Hello, Teacher Beth.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here at TalkEd.
Nakakatuwa to have you here with us. Okay, Teacher Beth, diretso na tayo sa ating topic dahil syempre we've been talking about routines. Yan ang keyword, I guess, for this episode. So I'll get straight to the point. Bakit importante, bakit kailangan may routine for adults and especially for children?
Okay, that's a very good question, no, Bianca. Actually, akala nga ng iba, ang routines para lang sa mga preschool teachers like me na sa classroom. Pero actually, hindi. Ang routines kailangan natin pati sa bahay. And it's very important kasi ang dami niyang benefits na nabibigay hindi lang sa bata, hindi lang sa parents, kung hindi sa buong pamilya. So ano ba itong mga benefits na to? So for children, kunwari, nakakatulong ang mga routines para makabigyan ang mga bata ng sense of safety and security. Kasi alam nila kung anong mangyayari na sunod. 'Di ba nakakaano sa bata pag hindi nila alam ano na bang gagawin ko, ano na bang mangyayari sunod. Nakakataranta yon and it gives them a little bit of sense of stress. But when they know and it's very predictable kung anong mangyayari, anong kailangan gawin, then mas nagkakaroon sila ng sense of security. And then also, it is part of their developmental tasks. As children grow older, dumadami yung kanilang responsibilities and then dumadami yung mga kaya nilang gawin. And kadalasan, nakatuon din yan dun sa mga routines na lumalabas sa mga pamilya. And then, natuturuan sila magkaroon ng sense of responsibility, which is very important. And it helps build in them good habits and character development. Nakakailanganin nila in the future. And then also, the routines help children feel empowered. Yung bang alam nila na may nagagawa sila, may naa-accomplish sila. Na kahit hindi sila paalalahanan, di ba? Parang, uy, nagawa ko to. Kaya minsan maririnig mo, Mommy, I fixed my bed. Kasi proud sila eh. So, magkakaroon sila ng ganong feeling of empowerment. Pero, ano naman yun para sa ating mga magulang? Ang number one na naiisip ko, less stress for all. Diba, Bianca? I'm sure you have little kids now, diba? Me, I have a 14-year-old turning 50 and a 10-year-old. So, na-experience ko yan, lalo na yung smaller, yung maliit pa talaga sila, na parang feeling ko malalagas na yung buhok ko kakapalala. Diba? You remember that time na paulit-ulit, you have to remember, ganyan. But, if the routine is set already, then that diminishes, parang nawawala na, hindi mo na kailangan paalalahanan. And then magugulat ka ginagawa na nila. Like, sa amin kasi sa family, we have what we call the 5 Bs and a V. Ano yung 5
Okay.
Bs and a V?
Five, sorry, nakaka-tongue twister. 5 B, B.
Aha.
And a V. Okay, okay, okay. Five B's and a V. Okay, ano yon, Teacher Beth?
Bed. That means they need to fix their bed as soon as they wake up. Bath, brush, of course, the teeth, and then breakfast, and then Bible. So yun yung 5 B's namin. And then the V is vitamins. COVID kasi. Panahon ng COVID na dagdagan natin
Ah.
because of the COVID season. So at the start, it was a little bit more difficult kasi kailangan paalalahanan, you have to follow through. But then nung nasanay na sila, I would notice that they didn't need me to remind them anymore. Dati
Hmm.
charts pa na nakasulat, 'di ba, para may visual cue yung bata. But then 'pag nasasanay na sila when it becomes a habit, I don't need to remind them. Pati when they need to pack away kasi atleta yung dalawa kong anak, Friday night pa lang, ayos na yung gamit nila for the next day na soccer.
Wow.
They don't check their bags. So, kumpleto na yun hanggang panligo nila for after and they started since my son was 7, my eldest, and until now. So that one, less stress, 'di ba? 'Pag di natin kailangan magpaalala. But of course, my boys aren't perfect. There are still days that, minsan na ano nang ginagawa, ganun. But generally, they have their habits and their routine set already. But it wasn't easy at the start.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
good routines will help your family run smoothly. Kasi, 'di ba, when everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, mas masaya. So you have more time to spend sa enjoyable time together kaysa
Hmm.
paalala nagnanag. And ayokong magnag. 'Di ba nakakabawas ng kagandahan ang pagnanag, Mommy Bianca? I'm sure yun.
Yes, yes. Ah, sobrang kompleto na ng sinabi mo. I have zero follow-up questions sa totoo lang. But I wanted to point to what you said earlier, Teacher Beth, na parang hindi naging madali papunta doon sa, kasi sabi mo ngayon, pinaprepare yung sariling bag, hindi mo na check. Parang for any parent listening, that's a dream, 'di ba? But that's what we're going to break down, I guess, sa episode na to. Anong edad ba dapat nagsisimula? Paano kung mag-resist yung bata? We will talk about that later, mga parents. Okay. Teacher Beth here on TalkEd, nag-share talaga tayo ng real life stories ng parents na similar yung pinagdadaanan. So right now, we will share to everyone the kwento of Mommy Jill. Okay? Siya ngayon, currently building routines for their son, Sam. So everyone, let's watch this.
Sa amin kasi very important ang routine, but since our son is still very young, the routine that we're trying to build for him and for us also as a family, it's something na maintindihan niya up to his understanding. So my son Sam is just 2 years old, pero hindi ko siya in-enroll in any online schooling yet. Kasi parang ganun din. Since I was a preschool teacher, kami yung nag-study together. After eating breakfast and playtime in the morning, magla-lunch na kami together as a family. And then kapag may mga orders kami, usually lunch and dinner kasi yung order. Sometimes, sa ngayon, since he's big enough, he actually helps out. Kaya nahilig siya din sa kitchen toys, ganun. So, nagsusot din siya ng apron like what we're wearing, tapos nakikiluto din siya. So, minsan sinasama na namin sa routine namin yun. Actually, na kapag meron kaming orders, ini-involve namin siya. Because we believe na he actually learns from hands-on experiences. Sam is very verbal already and he's very comprehensive. Nadi-discuss na namin sa kanya yung there's a time for everything. So, alam niya na pag playtime, tapos may eating time. So, hindi isasabay yun with play. And then, sleeping time also. Pag sleeping time na, before sleeping time, magta-transition kami from playing to a quiet activity para mag-die down yung energy niya.
There you go. Ang kwento ni Mommy Jill with their son, Sam. Okay, actually, Teacher Beth, si Sam dun sa video looked very, very young. So I guess, yun nga, babalikan ko yung na-mention ko kanina. At what age ba pwedeng magsimulang mag-establish ng routines para sa mga anak natin?
Actually, you can start the day they are born. So the younger that you start, the better. Kasi 'di ba ang babies when they're born, they still have routines. May sleeping time yan,
Mm.
madalas yung sleeping time. And then there's also feeding time. So maikli lang yung kanilang routine, but they still have a routine. So you can start as young as they are and then just grow, kumbaga, and develop as they develop as well. So you
Okay.
can start as young.
Yeah. So parang I guess ang understanding ko as a mom, ang routine is more of like hindi naman siya na parang 7 o'clock kailangan ganito, tapos 5 o'clock kailangan ganito, tapos it's more parang a flow of the day, yung alam nila kung anong susunod na mangyayari. Is that correct?
Exactly. Kasi we're not naman racing robots. Hindi naman tayo nagpapalaki ng mga robots, di ba? Ang routine na kailangan natin is i-adjust din natin sa ating mga anak, tsaka sa ating pamilya. Kasi we also have, di ba, our own tasks and all of that. So we take all of those into consideration. But then, you still set that parang bostong pagkakasunod-sunod. Yung kunwari, after feeding, may bathing, tapos sleeping time ng baby. Then alam nila na downtime na. So I heard nga 'di ba na I heard you I think earlier when you said na after kumain aakyat na magda-downtime na. So hindi na playtime pag akyat nila. So yun lang yung ibig sabihin ng routine. Yung meron lang siyang pagkakasunod-sunod na ginagawa nyo on a daily basis sa inyong
Okay. So tama that starts nga pag baby, even if technically hindi pa nila naiintindihan ang ibig sabihin ng routine. How about Teacher Beth, kapag medyo tumanda na, medyo may some sort of independence na yung mga bata, nakakalakad na on their own, nakakagawa na ng basic things on their own. Should we set rules for our kids at paano ginagawa yon sa tamang paraan?
Oh, yes. Parang the rules kasama yun dun sa routines, 'di ba? Kasi kunwari, you cannot go to the next part of your routine if hindi ka mag-pack away. Kunwari, after
Mm.
playtime, may gagawin kayong susunod. Siyempre, before you go to the next one, kasama sa part ng routine ang packing away. So, may mga rules kayo na susundan din sa bahay niyo. For example, kailan ang playtime? Kasi pag sleeping time, hindi. And I remember dun sa video na nakita natin, si Mommy Jill, sabi niya, when it's eating time, it's not playtime. Parang there's always a season for everything, di ba? May tamang panahon para sa lahat. So we can set rules, pero kailangan simple rules lang muna at the start. And then pag very young kids kasi, hindi mo pa naman sila mahihingan ng what rules do you want or do you think are okay kasi hindi pa nga
Mm.
tayong iba, 'di ba? But as they grow older, you can ask for their opinions also and their input. Like, anong rules ba? Bakit ba yung rule na yan? Why do we need to pack away? Yung mga ganon. But routines and rules to be well established, kailangan well planned din siya. So hindi lang siya yung gawin ko kaya to today, tas bukas iba na naman. It has to be well planned and everybody in the whole household
Mm.
should on it. Parang kailangan nagtutulungan kayo, you know the roles of each other. Tas may sinasabi nga na if I may share no 4 C's no
I
of
love this. I love these acronyms. Kanina, 5 B's and 1 V. Ngayon, 4 C's. Okay, 4 C's.
ways for you to remember how to set up your routines and your rules at home. So number one, you have to have first a compelling idea or rationale for it. Kasi kailangan may dahilan. Hindi kayong humuhugot lang ng rule. Ay, gusto ko to. Medyo sadista ako. Gagawa ako ng ganitong rule. Hindi siya ganun. It has to come from a compelling idea or a compelling rationale. Kunwari, pag hindi mo nilipit, masisira yung mga laruan. Mawawala. It has to come from that. That's one. The second is you have to have clear expectations. Most of the time, when children misbehave or they don't do something expected of them, it's because they didn't know na yun pala yung expectation nila. Yung kunwari, nagpunta sa church, tas magulo sila sa church kasi hindi pala nila alam before going na kailangan ito yung mga set of behaviors na ine-expect. No? So we have to have clear expectations. So compelling idea, clear expectations, and then the third one is consistency. It has to be consistent. Hindi yung pagpagod ka na, hahayaan mo na. Kasi minsan ganun, diba? Pag masama yung pakiramdam, parang ayoko na mag-follow up, ayoko na magpaalala kasi I'm tired or I'm sick. But you have to power through. Kumbaga, kasi you have to be consistent. And hindi pwede, iba yung rules kay mommy, iba yung rules kay daddy, lalo na kay lolo at kay lola. So, tulong-tulong tayong lahat. Hindi pwede iba-iba kasi hindi pwedeng may kaaway pagdating sa rules. And then the fourth is composure of the parents. That's the fourth C. So, bakit nga ba? Kasi it's gonna be more difficult to set a routine or set a rule if you are always angry. If galit, lagi kang naiinis, lagi kang nagdadabog or or nagsasabi ng hindi maganda, lalong nagiging negative yung dating ng routine at ng rule dun sa bata. So, yung composure natin as a parent is very vital. So, itong 4 C's na to galing to sa isang sikat na homeschooling philosopher na nag-aano ng home education, si Charlotte Mason. So, yan yung 4 na C's na sinasabi niya. 4 C's yung tinawag ko, pero yan yung 4 kasi na nabasa ko na sinabi niya. So, yung composure of the parent is very important kasi malaki daw yung influence ng atmosphere sa bahay, yung positive atmosphere sa bahay sa pag-set ng habits and routines ng mga bata.
Yeah, makes so much sense. So, compelling reason, is that correct? And then clear, kailangan klaro sa bata, sa lahat. Consistent and composure. Ang 4 C's. Oh, nagtitake notes ba kayo, parents? Oh, I love it. No, ang gandang reminder, especially yung kailangan lahat alam. Kasi minsan, di ba, as moms, parang tayo ang, hindi naman sa default, but more often than not, tayo talaga nagsiset ng rules, ng tempo, ng routine sa house. Pero minsan, masyado nating sinasolo, hindi naman natin nasi-share sa iba. So you're right in that dapat yung buong bahay alam ang routines para wala man tayo doon. Alam nila yung mga kailangan na routines at rules for the kids. In an ideal world talaga kapag nag-set tayo ng routines, rules, susunod ang lahat. Pero in real life, hindi talaga nangyayari. Madaming beses na, syempre as kids, gusto lang nila gawin yung gusto nilang gawin. So, yeah, is there a way na we can encourage kids to follow our rules and routines? At paano kung hindi sila sumusunod? What can we do?
So, una, paano ba to encourage them to follow the rules? Ang number 1 siguro na reminder ko is from Josh McDowell when he said, rules without relationship will only lead to rebellion. Sabihin, we need to prioritize our relationship with our children. That's our main target. Before we set all the rules in the world, we have to make sure that our relationship is positive and that maganda yung attachment ng ating mga anak sa atin. Pag positive yung relationship sa kanilang primary caregiver or sa parent, ganyan, maganda rin ang development ng brains ng mga bata.
Okay. Teacher Beth here on TalkEd, nag-share talaga tayo ng real-life stories ng parents na similar yung pinagdadaanan. Let's watch this.
As early as now, nabibigyan na namin ng chores si Sam. Although hindi pa yung mga hardcore na mga chores at home. Pero as simple as him cleaning up sa mga toys niya, parang chore niya yon as a family member na naglalaro at home. So, walang magpapack away ng mga toys niya for him. Siguro, tutulungan namin siya, we do it together, pero siya pa rin yung gagawa. So, isa yun sa mga chores niya. And then, ngayon si Sam kasi, he wants to be very involved sa kahit anong mga ginagawa namin. Meron kaming small home kitchen. It's called Jojo and Jill's Home Kitchen. Na gusto niya kasama daw siya. We offer food trays. Tapos, most of those, favorite ni Sam. Tapos nakikisama siya sa pag-prepare. Gusto niya kasing mag-slice. Although, syempre, medyo nakakatakot pa for him to handle a knife, ganyan. Pero we found mga child-safe na mga kitchen tools na tinatry niya. So, minsan nakikihati siya, o kaya yung paglagay ng ingredients, ganyan. O kaya magsusuot siya ng pot holder, although hindi naman niya ilalagay sa oven. Yung mere fact lang na he's trying to copy yung ginagawa namin. So, actually, wala naman kaming gustong i-push sa kanya kasi syempre he'll have his own choices when he grows up. Pero since nakikita namin yung interest niya, and nakikita namin na kaya naman niya, so yun, nakikisama siya. So, minsan, kukuha pa siya ng sarili niyang chair, dadali niya sa kitchen, sasabihin niya sa daddy niya na, Daddy, I want to cook also, ganyan.
Thank you so much, Mommy Jill. Si Sam ay napaka-responsible na little boy. But you know what, Teacher Beth, may sinabi si Mommy Jill na parang makakonect natin to what you said earlier. Sabi niya kasi, and nakikita ko din to sa mga anak ko, minsan sila yung talagang curious, gusto nilang tumulong kasi gusto nilang makisama sa ginagawa natin. And you mentioned this kanina kasi modeling. Like, yung anak ko, alala ko dati, ang hilig-hilig magwalis kasi nga nakikita niya lahat ng adults dito sa bahay, nagwawalis. So, yeah, is there an age na dapat nagsa-start turuan ng mga anak natin ng chores? Or I guess, how can we incorporate chores dun sa routines, ating daily routines at home?
Oh, ayun, yes, totoo yun, 'no? Lahat ng ginagawa natin gustong-gustong gayahin ng mga, anak natin. Sana lang nagko-continue hanggang pagtanda na. Yes. But yeah, that's a good question na ilang taon ba talaga nagsa-start? Well, for me, there's always something that they can do. Even
Mm.
a toddler, a baby, like si Sam, I think is 2 years old, no? Yung anak ni Mommy Jill. So 2 years old pero nalilinis na niya yung kanyang mga toys, ganyan. So
Mm.
you can start with very simple chores like packing away. That's number one. And yung packing away nga ng babies, I remember nung maliliit pa yung babies ko, or no, nag-handle ako ng mga toddlers sa preschool. Ang packing away nila, sinushoot lang naman nila talaga sa
Right.
basket. Diba? But
Right.
that's already packing away, and that's the start of it. Siyempre, hindi natin ma-expect na gagawin nila yung maglinis ng toilet, yung mga ganun. Medyo matanda pa yun. So, you can always check out naman the list of appropriate chores for children per year level.
Mm.
Per age, may nakasulat na dyan ng mga appropriate chores na pwedeng gawin.
I'll talk lang a bit about, I have a question lang a bit about chores and a bit about the rules, I guess, kanina. So, on a normal day, like you said, yung mga anak mo parang sanay na, hindi na kailangan paalalahanan. But meron talagang minsan mga days na hindi mo alam. Biglang ayaw mag-toothbrush or ayaw kumain or ayaw, yung parang ginagawa naman nila every day for years, months, pero may mga araw lang talaga na ayaw nila. Minsan may crying pa. What can we do pag ganon, Teacher Beth?
Well, yun, as I said earlier, we need to find out why. Kasi if it's because they really need time or talagang hindi nila kaya gawin today dahil masama yung may pinagdadaanan sila or hindi okay, then we have to respect that and say, okay, but you have to do it later when you're,
Mm.
pero gagawin pa rin niya. Yun yung importante, gagawin pa rin niya. Pero when you're ready na. Kasi baka pagod lang talaga. So we have to also consider that na baka they just need to settle down muna and then but do it pa rin. And then for others naman na talagang trying to test your limits kasi meron din yung 'di ba point na susubukan ko kasi baka makalusot ako. Then pag pinalusot natin, then gagawin na yan at gagawin ulit-ulit. No? So kung feeling mo, kasi we know naman deep down inside, we as parents, since we know our children the most, we know why kadalasan, why they are doing something. So minsan they just really want to test you. Then we need to be firm. Encouraging, but yet firm. So you're still there, I'll wait for you. I'll stay here, I'll help you when you're ready. Pero inaano mo na, gagawin pa rin natin anak. Wala kang choice. Hindi ka pa rin pwede mag-play sa labas kasi hindi mo pa tinatapos hindi mo pa nililigpit yung pagkain mo. So hintayin natin yan. So, Pero we have to be gentle yet firm. And then the kids, when they see that hindi sila nakakalusot, they, parang eventually they get to understand na kahit magwala ako dito, kung ano, hindi pa rin. Tapos, di ba minsan nakakatulong din when they see that you're just there,
Mm.
allowing them to express their emotions. Kasi legitimate naman yung nararamdaman nila. When they're frustrated,
Yeah.
ayaw nila gawin. Tapos kailangan lang nila ilabas. But then when they settle
Yeah.
down, they're ready na rin pala after. So it just needs so much patience on our part. And I feel all of you kasi hanggang ngayon nararamdaman ko pa rin yan. Yung parang kulang pa rin yung patience ko. Ganun. But we just have to just push through with it. We need to commit to,
Yeah.
and then our kids naman, it's for their benefit. Eh. At the end of the day, we're doing this for them. Kasi if we end up doing everything for them, parang we are providing them a disservice. Instead of
Mm.
for the future, parang magsasuffer pa sila lalo if we don't help them and prepare them by teaching them chores early on. Kasi dadating na panahon, they still need to do it. And you won't be there anymore to help them. So, it's something that they need to do. And then you can pair it with something that they enjoy. Kunwari, pag mahilig sa kanta yung anak mo, then you can blast the music while you're packing away and dance together while doing it. So pair it
Yeah.
with something that they enjoy and then celebrate the small changes. Yung pag may ginawa sila na hindi mo na parang first time nila ginawa na hindi ka nagpaalala, parang make
Mm.
out of it. Parang say thank you talaga na na parang, "Uy, thank you for doing that. You helped mom so much just by doing that." Yun, so they get to see, yun pala yung epekto when I do something. So always be encouraging. Hindi yung pag may ginawa sila, pinapalitan natin. Kasi sa totoo lang, minsan like when they mop, mas dumudumi.
Mm. Mm.
Dumudumi yung parang pag nagwawalis sila, parang mas kumakalat and everything. Um, what we want is their attitude of helping.
Right. Right.
So don't nip that. Hindi yun yung dapat inaano natin. Just encourage them to do it. Kahit baliktad yung pagkakasuot ng damit nila, ganun talaga eh. They're still learning it. So just allow them and then if wala na sila, then saka mo linisin ulit yung bahay if kailangan. Diba? But
Yeah.
just be encouraging and power through it even when and through the difficult behaviors.
Yeah. Grabe. While you're talking, Teacher Beth, nod lang ako ng nod kasi parang nararamdaman ko talaga yung 20 years of experience as an educator and being a mom of two, a teen and a tween. Um, all your examples are so spot on and parang lived experience talaga. So ako personally, I'll most likely rewatch this episode para mas manamnam ko talaga everything that you said. And of course, sa lahat ng parents na nanonood dito ngayon, sobrang dami kong natutunan from you, Teacher Beth. Maraming maraming salamat. Yeah, routines, rules, sense of responsibility. I love what you said na sa totoo lang, it's preparing them for the future na parang kumbaga kung hindi nila matutunan tong mga to ngayon, mas mahihirapan sila in the future. Age appropriateness ng chores, ng routines, natutunan din natin from Teacher Beth. And with that, we would like to thank you so much, our TalkEd expert of the day, Teacher Elizabeth King Santos. Thank you for sharing your expertise, your very specific examples. I would love to ask for any final words you have for all our parents trying to establish these routines at home. And yeah, would you like to promote anything to everyone watching now?
Oh, no. Thank you, Bianca, for having me here. It's a joy to always share. But don't get me wrong, I'm not the perfect mom. I'm not an expert mom. Actually, I'm still learning. So it's really a learning journey all throughout. And it's not easy. I know moms and dads, parenting can be overwhelming most of the time. But when you really look into it, parang the joys of it outweigh all those lahat ng pagod, lahat ng iyak natin at times, diba? Nababawi naman yun. But always remember that you as parents, you are the best teacher of your children. No, your home environment should be the safe space for your children. Nagugustuhin nila laging umuwi because you are there in their home. So, even if you feel like napapagod, nahihirapan sila because of all your rules and all of the things, the routines, the chores that you give, think of why you are doing it. Always go back to your reason, to your vision. Bakit nga ba? You are doing this because you love your children. You want to help rear up good citizens of the future na
Yes.
kayang gawin ang kanilang responsibilities when they grow up. So, just, it gets easier as they get older, I think. I hope. Dadating din yung panahon that you will say that um, na parang you will know that what you did was worth it. All the pagod, all the iyak. Promise, mommies. And daddies. And last but not the least, when all else fails, always remember to pray because your children do not belong to you. They are actually the Lord's. And He will always take care of them. He will fill in all of your gaps. Lahat ng pagkakamali natin, siya ang bahala to take care of our children because He loves them more than we can ever love them. So, yun lang. And I hope you enjoyed this session also as much as I did.
Oh, thank you so much, Teacher Beth. Such a beautiful, beautiful reminder sa lahat ng parents. May mga atir fell yata na nanonood ngayon. Thank you so much, Teacher Beth, for joining us and for all the super mega valuable advice that you shared with us. Imagine free resource tong TalkEd. Natutuwa ako kasi usually, di ba, you have to pay for these parenting seminars pero dito sa Knowledge Channel, sa TalkEd, our experts graciously lend their time and the wisdom to us. Maraming salamat, Teacher Beth. Thank you! Alright, sa lahat ng ating mga mommies and daddies, a bit of a recap and a few learnings lang that we'd like to share here from TalkEd, our expert tips. Tip number 1 is to create a balanced routine, right? Pwede siyang mixture ng mas tahimik na activities, ng mas loud na activities, mas active, mas passive, mas physical, mas sa brain, mas cognitive. So, for example, pwede tayo mag-set ng schedule na sa umaga, after breakfast, schoolwork, after lunch, nap time naman, pagkagising, maybe homework habang nagme-merienda ng paborito natin, of course. Syempre, para may energy din for playtime after schoolwork. Tapos, syempre, siguro bath time, dinner, bedtime. So, whatever flow works for you, yan na ilan lang sa ating mga suggestions. Second, nagbigay ng 4C si Teacher Beth, pero isa sa mga pinaka-key, I guess, talaga is yung C for consistency. Di ba? Dapat consistent. Whether dun sa pag-follow ng routine, follow ng rules, consistent lahat ng tao sa bahay, kayong mag-asawa, partner with lolo, lola, nako, crucial din yon. Dapat sinusunod natin kung ano yung napag-usapan natin with our kids. And the third tip, and this one I loved what Teacher Beth said, yung mga visual reminders. Diba sabi niya, charts, or like pictures na meron checklists, o diba? Helpful for tactile and visual learners ang paggawa ng ating mga routine charts. So rule charts, chore charts. Sa amin, meron din kami parang sticker kapag nagagawa na nila, they'll put a sticker on their chart. Tulad ng sinabi Teacher Beth, diba? May sense of ownership, may sense na parang, uy, nagawa ko to. May ganon. Dahil syempre kasama sila sa decision-making process, kasama sila sa kumbaga, sistema sa bahay. You can even gamify it, how it looks, para ma-encourage sila how to follow through. For example, kitchen. Okay, one of their tasks could be learning to identify the ingredients. Yan, based on smell and taste. Siguro for mga older kids na to, siguro mga 6 or 7, ganyan. So muli, maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga sumama sa ating kwentuhan. Ngayong araw, I am your host, Bianca Gonzalez, and we'll see you again in our next Talk Ed. Good night!